This one? Oh yeah, sure. Yeah, I can do that.
Here we go.
Okay. 3, 2. Oh, has my mic been on the entire time in the countdown? I don't care. Hi, HT.
Welcome, everyone, to the HT Supercross Next Season 2 Team Draft. My name is Pancake. I'm joined by my usual host of Hooligans, Opixonic, and Le Jefe, bringing us an awesome stream graphic here. I think what we're seeing on screen right now is the 4 teams, official team names, kind of scrolling through. Jabbleston with Bernolio Moto Club. We have Zaya with Art of Attack. We have D-Mills NY with Resolve. And then we have Hat to Be Kitten Me with Golden Moa. So those are your 4 official team names for Season 2 of HT Supercross Next. We didn't have teams last season, Opix, but I feel like just having one extra thing to kind of throw a bone to competitors and also a way to have our race winners from last year kind of stay integrated within the HTSX Next ecosystem was kind of a fun thing to get going. So real briefly, Opix, since you're my usual co-commentator here, just let me know what you think about the list of competitors and about the teams here and what your expectations are for this draft.
I'm very curious to see how these guys draft, because usually you don't see these guys drafting in HTSX proper. Zaya's never drafted ever. He kind of just showed up to Next and now he's a team leader. So I'm interested to see what he's going to do. But as for Jabbleston, Darian, and Jake, they've been around these guys for much longer. They have more of a idea of what they are as prospects for their team. But I'm sure Zaya's been doing his research too, and there's stats. You can look at the leader. Anyone can look at the leaderboard. I'm going to be pulling that up for stats here as well, probably. But yeah, I'm very curious to see how these guys draft. It's going to be fun to watch.
I enjoy looking at the screen here, how all of our riders are lore accurate. D-Mills is much shorter than the rest of the riders and he also carries around a big wheel with him whenever he
The
likes.
dude's been hitting the dude's hitting the gym, just carrying the tire over his shoulder.
Cat
right
to be
now.
kidding me seems to be the bulkiest of the bunch. He stands ahead above everyone else, just like real life. So this is going to be very exciting. Unlike usual Supercross drafts in Halo tracks, the team leaders are not participants in the series, which means we don't really have to go by a drafting salary system. Typically, you know, if I were to be drafting a team, I'm going to have probably the largest salary or one of the largest salaries going into it. So the way that I approach drafting is going to be different. I might not be able to get some of the top dogs. But these guys, it's just going to be a straight snake draft. Whoever's randomized to pick first, they're going to have the opportunity to get the best driver according to who they think is the best driver. And then from there, it'll snake through just like a normal snake draft. No third round reversal or anything like that. So whoever picks first in the first round is going to pick last in the second round. So you kind of got to weigh the options and think about all that stuff. Typically and historically, whoever picks last in the first round, I feel like has an advantage because right around that 4 and 5, talent level, like that can be really good for your like team composition. So I'm curious how it's all going to play out. I'm curious if any of these guys are going to choose sleepers or underdogs or what the strategy is going to be. So I was thinking about pulling them in to get some thoughts from each of them. But I think we can kind of do that as the drafting is underway, and we can talk to them as they're thinking through their selections. So let's go ahead and randomize the first round here and see who the first selection, whose team will select first. Okay, so let's start the draft. We're just gonna do it. We're doing it live. We're dragging all of our team leaders, our squad leaders in here. But we're about to randomize it. We're about to find out the order of the first round. It all has led up to this, and no one can really anticipate until right now who you're going to select. Let's see what the first round of the Season 2 draft looks like. And the first selection is going to go to Zaya, who came back on the scene, firing on all cylinders last season in HT Supercross Next, winning 3 races in a row. Zaya, your new team, Art of Attack, racing with the blue armor. You are going to be the first selection. You can see that bar going across the screen there. That's the amount of time that you have. Honestly, we're not going to be super stingent on that, I don't think. But give us your thoughts about the strategy now that you know you're picking first. And then if you already know who you're going to be selecting, you can go ahead and lay that on us as well.
I already know who I want to select for first pick.
All right, so, the pick is in with the first selection of the HT Supercross Next Season 2 draft. Zaya's Art of Attack team will select
Barry Barrows.
Barry Barrows is the first selection off the board. Very interesting. Even though Barry came up second behind the Venom Fallacy at aggregate in our most recent preseason race, Zaya's feeling confident that Barry can lead his new team here to victory. What's kind of the thought process and strategy behind that one, Zaya?
My thought process is like, I watch Barry drive, and he's fast. I've seen his time trials. I've seen the way he drives, everything. He's kept up with me, even be faster than me. So I feel confident with this pick, and I think he'll do good on the team for sure. Upcoming season.
Yeah. Opix, any thoughts or any questions for Zaya there on that first pick? Is that a surprise to you? Did you anticipate that?
It is definitely not a surprise. Barry is the best finishing driver from Season 1, besides the 4 team leaders here, with a 17.11 average over his 9 starts last season. As I've called him during the preseason race just recently, he is the mad scientist of the group. He will look at the nuances of the track. He will figure out what exact lines. It's just going to come down to executing for him, and once he learns how to do that, which I think he's going to during the season, he is going to be a force, not only in just Next, but in proper HTSX, I think. But certainly he is one of the favorites, if not along with Tyler, I think, in Season 2 of HTS Next. And I think it's a hell of a good pick for Zaya in his first team draft in HT.
Yeah, super interesting. You kind of had to figure it was either going to be Barry or the Venom Fallacy going off the board first there. which means we might have an indicator here of what Jab's selection is going to be. Jab next up on the clock with his Red Riders Bernolio Moto Club is going to be selecting next. Jab, you can either start with your selection or take us through kind of your strategy now that you know you're picking second, or any thoughts going into the new season. But if you already know who you're selecting, then you can go ahead and just make that call.
I did think Barry would fall to the second, but obviously I didn't know everyone was so high on him. So we're gonna go with who I had number one on my draft board, and go with Tyler, and hope that his attendance is there and he can lead the team when I'm not available to be around. So we're looking for big things out of Venom Fallacy this year. We'll get in the lab, and hopefully he can lead us to the team championship.
There you go. Your reigning champion, Jabbleston, winner of 5 races in season 1 of Next, selects the Venom Fallacy, who, remember, beat Jabbleston, beat all of your team leaders here on track in our preseason race at Minnesota back before the season opener last season. So clearly the Venom Fallacy, even last season, had the pace to win. So definitely looking for big things out of Tyler, racing out of California. They're similar to our team leaders, Zaya and Cat to Be Kitten Me. Cat to Be Kitten Me will be selecting up next with this Golden Moa squad. But Opix, any thoughts on the top 2 selections there? I think it was pretty chalk that those were going to be the top 2. We just didn't know what order. So now I feel like this is where the real draft begins. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts headed into pick number 3 here?
Well, I mean, yeah, Barry and Tyler were certainly the top 2 on the board. I think those are going to be the 2 fighting for this championship. But now for Jake, for Golden Moa, it's kind of a wide open board, and there's a lot. You know, you have Wes there. Is Spider going to be available? Brendan, I don't know if he's racing. Coop is there. I mean, I'm just going down the leaderboard. We have, you know, Derbzilla, who I think can show some speed. Vulcan, I've seen in the HRL circles before. He could be pretty good at these supercrosses if he puts the time in. So we've seen Chosen starting to run pretty well. Paid to Drive is learning really well. There is a lot of options here for Jake, and I'm very curious what he's going to go with here, because this is, as you said, this is where the real draft begins now.
Yeah, I think the top 2 we could have anticipated, you know, depending on the order, but the third racer, I really have no idea where this is going to go. I don't know how much the team leaders have thought about this going into it. So Cat to Be Kitten Me, winner of our season finale at Bernolio Moto Park, not to be confused with Bernolio Moto Club, which is now a new team in the series. But Jake, what are your thoughts here? When you saw that you were picking 3rd, what was your immediate reaction to that?
I mean, the only person left that has shown consistent pace to deal with those 2 would be West, but we don't know how much it's going to come to, how many races. I think there's plenty of good talent still out there on the board. I'm going to select Derbzilla.
All right, Derbzilla, after finishing on the podium at Aggregate last Saturday, has crept up the charts, has crept up the leaderboards, and now has made himself a first-round draft pick here in HD Supercross Next. So Tyler and Tyler, both out of California, going back-to-back with the Venom Fallacy and Derbzilla. I feel like it could have gone a few different directions there, thinking about team composition. We still have so much of this draft left to go, so I want to kind of keep it on a roll here. So let's actually just take it straight to D-Mills NY with Resolve there, Resolve Racing with the green. I tried to give a nice homage to D-Mill's love of Gears of War, the Gears of War franchise, with his team logo there, so hopefully he enjoys that. But D-Mills, you are actually going to be able to choose 2 racers back-to-back, which is kind of a unique position to be in here. You have an opportunity to really stack the midfield here with talent. So what are your thoughts going into this? Let us know if you already have your first selection picked. If not, you can kind of you know, give us a little rundown as you're deciding.
You know, I was triggered at first that I had the 4th pick, but I think we can assemble a great squad here, a great squad. So with my first pick, I'm going with Paid to Drive.
Paid to Drive.
Oh, yeah.
Making himself a first-round draft pick after an incredible showing at Zero Matrix, our first race of the season, the newcomers event. Nearly took the victory. We all saw the dramatic ending of that one when Chosen landed on top of him, took him down off the goose, and Paid to Drive barely held on to second in front of Coop Boop, actually. Coop had a really nice strong ride, very silently in third there in that race. So Paid to Drive along with Derpzilla, first time those two have heard their names called first in an HT Supercross draft in the first round. And that means D-Mills NY is back on the clock once again to stack another teammate alongside Paid to Drive there, our second place finisher in the newcomers event. Do you know who you're going with here in round 2, D-Mills?
This is a pretty tough decision, actually. Going with the first pick in the second round, but I'm going with another driver from the newcomers race, the winner.
Oh,
I'm taking Chosen.
Chosen and Paid to Drive, the new rivalry. We could take a screenshot and all of a sudden they are teammates on Team Resolve here under D-Mills NY, winner of one of our races last season. Remember, he took that victory at God's Regrets track last season in an epic duel between he and Jabbleston. We saw the reaction, we heard the reaction from Jabbleston there with the back-to-back selections of Paid to Drive and Chosen. Opix, what do you think about those two selections?
They're very interesting. I mean, as I've said, Be Sure, Paid to Drive, and Chosen, they have shown very much a lot of potential. They've been improving. If Darian can coach them up, they can show some serious speed, and this could be a team that could contend for this team championship.
Yeah, maybe it was destiny. We saw Chosen racing with the green armor in the newcomers event. Maybe it was meant to be here on the green team of Resolve with Darian Miller out of New York. So we'll see if that East Coast flair, if he can train up Paid to Drive and Chosen and make those guys race winners and championship contenders. So it falls back to Golden Moa, our yellow squad here. Cat to be kidding me. We have, since your selection, Paid to Drive, Chosen off the board. We still have plenty of talent left on the board here. Who is going to be your round 2 selection?
I will be choosing a man who has been representing the Suzuki colors for quite some time now in
Elite MKB, our first non-US resident racer going off the board here at the 2-2. He will join Derpzilla on Golden Moa and Cat to be kidding me, forming a nice squad there. Remember, those two racers just duked it out for the final podium spot at aggregate. So both guys in my top 5 guys, a little section there of my tier list. I think they both have the speed and the experience to potentially battle for top 5s, maybe even podiums here in this season. So Golden Moa not able to get one of the top 2 championship contenders, but stacking the talent there. And that is going to take it back to Bernolio Moto Club with the Red Riders there. Jacob, I don't want to dox you and say your full name. Anyways, what are your thoughts going into this selection? Were you surprised by the last few racers to go off the board? Did you expect any of those guys to fall back to you?
I was maybe hoping Chosen would come back, but I think we're gonna be able to put together something pretty good. And here in the second round, I'm gonna take the man who rides a blue bike in real life and make him wear red in the races and take Captain Rex.
Captain Rex, the Yamaha racer in real life, not going to blue this time. He's got to deal with the Honda lookalike there with Bernolio Moto Club, which means we're taking it over to Art of Attack and the Blue Racers next. But before we do that, Opix, we see that squad there, the Venom Fallacy and Captain Rex. That looks like a really solid squad right off the rip. What do you think about, I mean, we'll kind of get a rundown through 2 rounds of what we think of the team, so maybe we'll hold off on that one. But definitely an interesting composition we got there, which means Art of Attack, who chose the very first selection in Barry Barrows at the 101, now swings back around at the 2-4. So he's had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 racers go off the board until he gets back around to his pick. So got to be very, very flexible and able to, malleable is the word that I'm looking for in your approach here. So Zaya, do you know who you're selecting here at the 2-4?
Yeah, I've decided I'm gonna choose this guy because he's my former partner in a different series. I'm gonna have to go with Coop Boop.
Boop Boop will join Barry Barrows on Art of Attack and suit up in the blue gear there. So now that we've gone through 2 full rounds, and remember, Zaya now has the opportunity to get the first pick of the final round of the draft here. We still have 7 riders on the board. Only 4 of those racers will be chosen here, which kind of conveniently leaves us with 3, and I may help out the remaining racers who don't end up on one of these squads here, just as like a 5th fake team, or just being able to help them out. So I don't want anyone to feel super excluded, but obviously there's only so many slots available on the teams. We could, I guess, on the fly make it a four-man team. Actually, no, we can't, because we'd be missing one person. But Zaya, you're back on the clock here at the 3-1. Before you jump into that, Opix, who do you think, just off the rip, looking at these squads through 2 rounds, who do you think is the strongest contender?
I'm telling, they're all even their way. I see a lot of potential in Resolve, because I think Paid to Drive and Chosen could get a lot faster. Derbzilla and Elite have a lot of experience under the belt. I think Derbzilla, as I was mentioning, I think Derbzilla is a little, well, I wouldn't say he's underrated in this case. He got taken 3rd overall, but I think you have Derb and you have Elite, who has a lot of experience with Halo racing. I think that's a strong team. Bernoli Motor Club with Venom and Captain Rex. We saw what Captain Rex could do in the newcomers race. If that dude gets a hold of this Halo racing stuff really quickly, that is a formidable 1-2 punch right there. And then you have Barry and Coop, who also I think right now are, Barry, you have Mad Scientist Barry and Coop, who's been looking pretty strong in these races as well. I'm looking at Art of Attack and Bernolio right now, but don't sleep on Golden Noah and Resolve. I mean, they're all even. We're going to see what these 3rd round selections are like, because the people that are left, they could make a huge difference here.
100%. I think this last round is going to be very telling. I do look at Bernolio Moto Club, and I think Jab's many years of experience drafting a million Madden franchises may be coming into play here, because I think those are 2 super solid selections from your reigning champ. Clearly he knows how to get dubs and make it happen. So I am looking at that team right now. I think that team stands out a little bit to me, but like we said, nothing is for certain. We got to settle it on the track, and we have 1 more round to go. So Zaya, at the 3-1 here, you've had a little bit of time to ponder your selection. Who will be your final team member here on Art of Attack?
I'm gonna have to take Dom P.
Dom P, the man with the modem. If he can figure out the internet, then this team definitely could be contending for a team title there. Barry Barrows, the scientist, can he lead Coop Boop and Dom? They kind of came on the scene around the same time last year in Halo Tracks and in HT Supercross and the Jais series, and so we've seen them kind of grow in their speed alongside each other. I think their talents are very comparable, so if Barry can kind of utilize some of his teaching tactics that he's been doing, hosting these different lobbies, if he can get them up, if their speed can get up just a little bit more, then this team definitely can be super formidable. If that means Bernolio Moto Club back on the clock here for their final selection. We have, counting's hard, 6 racers left on the board here, Jab. I have a funny feeling about where you might go with this one, but I'll let you take the floor.
Yeah, this one's going to be a full circle moment for me. We're going to be some wily bets over here in the club, and I'm hoping this guy gets back to his old ways from Reach. And with it also being the Moto Club, I'm personally enjoying that we're all Moto fans in real life, and I'm going to take BLH here with the last pick.
BLH 728 falls to the 3rd round. Super fascinating to me. If you remember in my tier list, I had him kind of at the top of the wild cards, just given his racing history, his experience on the Mongoose, both Halo Reach and Halo 4. We just haven't seen him race in so long. We don't know what kind of competitive drive is still there from BLH, but he has so much experience on the Goose. He knows how the physics work because he's made so many tracks. So Bernolio Moto Club will consist of the Venom Fallacy, Captain Rex, and BLH 728. That is a scary looking team if all three of those guys can get locked in, and Jab is going to be looking to make sure that that happens. That means we're going to swing it over. We have 2 selections left here in the Season 2 draft. It's going to head over to the Yellow Squad, Golden Moa, Cat to Be Kitten Me. Who will be your final selection?
I think there's a lot of good picks still left here. There's a lot of either vibe picks or guys who are trying to get better. But I'm gonna pick neither and go with Squeezu.
Squeezu lands on Cat to Be Kitten Me's team. Okay, what did I just say? I don't know. I think I skipped a syllable. Cat to Be Kitten Me's team there, Golden Moa, probably where Squeezu was destined to be. I feel like just based purely off of vibes. And we know that Squeezu was at the top of my top 5 guys list in the tier list. Like, we know that Wes has speed. It's all about the commitment. Will he show up to 2 races? Will he show up to every race? If he shows up to every race, then all of a sudden this squad is looking really formidable. Again, you'd have maybe not any of the championship level guys, but that's all 3 of the guys that were in my top 5 group in my tier list. So if all 3 of those guys are able to show up and be consistent, then I think they could start to stack a lot of top 5s and stack a lot of points and potentially take that teamship, even without a single victory on the board, which would be super interesting. That means Resolve at the 3-4 has the final selection of the night. You have 4 racers to choose from, D-Mills NY. Is this a difficult choice for you, looking at the 4 names on the board, or did you immediately magnetize to one of those names for the final racer?
Yes, it's a very difficult choice. I did notice a name that may have been left off. He was at the preseason and the newcomers race. I don't see Black Spectre.
So the Black Spectre, by the way, female racer. Black Spectre showed a lot of promise. She also messaged me after the most recent race and just said she kind of needs a break, wasn't feeling it. I think was feeling frustrated at some stuff. So I didn't include her on this list. Of course, she's always welcome to come back. I even told her this and participate whenever she feels like it. But I didn't include her on this list just because it seemed like she kind of wanted to take a break and maybe be spectating for a while.
Yeah, I'm looking for consistency. I'm looking for somebody that's going to show up week in and week out. So I think I'm going to take a hit on another newcomer and go with Doland here.
We're going to go with Doland as the final selection. Has really burst onto the scene in the Ignition series, the Oval Track series. I don't know how accurate this was. I was talking about in my tier list video that he's been a top 3, top 5 guy. I don't know if he's gotten wins in the main Ignition series, but he's definitely up there battling with the likes of Cam and Eddie. So has the experience on track racing with the best, but definitely not in a supercross setting. So a little bit to learn there for Doland, but potentially a lot of potential, I should say, to unlock there for Resolve, and maybe D-Mills can be the one to make it happen. I'm getting live messages from KC Congo telling me to teach him. So it looks like I'll just throw this out there for Treeman Glenn and Vulcan and KC Congo. I think all 3 of those guys, especially Vulcan, showed a lot of speed last season and next. We just haven't seen him, so I think the question mark might be attendance for him currently. But he did mention something about coming back or having new hardware or something like that in one of our chats. But for those 3, it won't be like an official team, but I would love, as well as any newcomers that show up to the series after this point or anyone coming back, I would love to kind of work alongside you guys and keep you up to speed. So I have no issue if you guys want to make your own hybrid team and run the same colors. Obviously we got the 4 standard 4 main colors here, but if you guys want to make a fake team and do that whole thing, then it's just as real as one of the real teams essentially, because the only thing that we're fighting for is bragging rights here. But that is going to be the team draft optics. I don't want to let it go on for too long here, because I also have to leave and go see a movie after this. But give us your final thoughts. Art of Attack here, Barry Barrows, Coop Boop, and Dom, led by Zaya. Bernolio Moto Club, consisting of the Venom Fallacy, Captain Rex, and BLH728, led by your reigning champ Jab. Got to be kidding me, leads Golden Moa, which is Derpzilla, Elite MKB, and Squeezoo. And finally, Resolve, led by D-Mills NY, Paid to Drive, Chosen, and Dolan. All three of those guys essentially are newcomers, even though Chosen has a little bit more experience than the other two. So what are your thoughts on these teams? Who's drawing your attention the most? And overall, just give us a little bit of some of that excitement for the new season.
Well, Art of Attack is definitely a vibes team to me. Barry, of course, one of the championship favorites. I think Coop has a lot of potential to show a lot of speed. And then, of course, Dom P, if he can get that modem situation figured out, who knows what Dom can pull off here. Dom P, not Dom Soda. Yeah, that team definitely has a lot of potential there. Bernolio Moto Club, I think on paper, I'd like a lot if things come to fruition. Venom Fallacy, again, one of the two main championship contenders on the board here. But like Captain Rex, we'll see how his real life experience applies to the Goose. And then BLH, again, somebody that has not driven the Goose for a while. But guess who we said about last season? Zaya. And he almost won the championship. So if BLH can get close to replicating that, Bernolio Moto Club is scary. Golden Moa is the experienced team. You had them as some of your top drivers in your tier list, Deacon. This is a team where if they all show up, if they are all consistent, they are a team that definitely has maybe not race winning speed, but all three of them are going to be getting consistent points. And then Resolve is the full potential team. We haven't seen these guys as much, Paid to Drive, Chosen, and Dolan, but if they can all put it together, if they put the time in, if they get that experience, who knows what that team could do. That is definitely the wildcard team, and I am very interested to see how all three of them progress. As you said, they're all newcomers, but all four of these teams have an avenue to get the bragging rights, to get that team championship. But as you said, Deacon, we're going to see what happens on the track.
Super exciting. Thank you to all four of our squad members for being present here to draft your squads. I'm excited to see how your teams grow and develop over the course of Season 2 here in HT Supercross Next. That's going to be all from me and Opix and Le Jefe here. Thank you to Le Jefe. Big thank you to him for putting together the whole draft board here and making sure this all functions correctly for us. So definitely want to shout that out. It looks awesome here to see all of our teams stacked up and lined up against one another. So we will see you. I think we're going to line up one more preseason event potentially. We might have an off week and we might just jump straight into race number 1. We're still kind of figuring out the exact dates, but the next time you see us, we'll be on track, whether that's for a preseason race or race number 1, and we'll be able to see all these guys in their new race colors live on track. So that's going to be super awesome. Thank you for joining us in the stream, and if you're watching on the VOD, thank you for joining us. Hit the link in the description if you want to join up on the Discord if you're interested in racing with us here on Halo with some Halo Supercross. Everyone is welcome regardless of your experience or skill level. So thanks so much, everybody, and we will catch you soon.